Hi, welcome to part 2 of this series on what is a good discussion of results. At the end of this session, you should be able to 1. List down the characteristics of a weak, moderate, and good discussion of results, and 2. Differentiate between low and good quality discussions. Let's start with the purpose of discussion. To write a good discussion, we need to know what the discussion section is for. So the purpose of the discussion section is to interpret and describe the significance of your findings in the light of what is already known about the research problem, that is from other researchers' findings. And then using our results, we give fresh insights to the research problem. And that is what a discussion section does. It goes beyond our results to the field. First of all, let me show you the characteristics of a weak, moderate, and good discussion of results. Let us start with a weak discussion of results. Here are some characteristics. A poorly written discussion usually fails to explain the broader meaning of the results in the context of the researcher's own study. They may say that the results fill in the gap of knowledge, but does not explain how this is done. And they may also say that the results are similar to A, different from B and C, and so on, but do not offer any details on the similarities and differences. And even if there are relevant theories, the researcher does not discuss the results in relation to the theory. Now, what is a moderate quality? A moderate quality means there may be certain generalization of the results for the research problem. And there is some general explanations of how the results fill in the gap of knowledge that was identified in the introduction. And there is also some attempt to show that the results are similar or different to other researchers. And they even offer some details about the studies. But normally the citations are left there and not taken further to explain or to compare with their own results. And if certain theories were claimed to be the theoretical framework of the study, there is some mention of it, but no elaborate discussion of how the results compare with the theory. Finally, we have a good quality discussion of results. Now, the researcher is able to explain the broader meaning of results in the context of their own study. And from there, show how the results contribute to the field in terms of filling in the gap of knowledge. In doing so, they are able to compare their results with those of other researchers. And they are able to compare with certain detail, showing that they know the results of the other researchers very well, because in that comparison, they are able to go into the minute differences of methodology or even the participants that might lead to the differences in the results. And finally, researchers who say that they are able to modify certain theories or refute certain parts of the theories, they are writing a good discussion, but it must be based in their results. They cannot go beyond what their results can offer. So with that, let us look at 4 samples of discussions. Sample number 1, there is a heading 4.4 discussion, but there is no discussion at all. You can see that there are no citations, and in the middle, line 5, you read, in this research, both theories have proven right. What theories? We don't know. So this is an example of a discussion section, but no discussion at all. Second sample, this is a low quality discussion. You can see that there are citations. I have highlighted it in blue. But the citations are just sitting there to show that the researcher has read some papers. But when we read the 3 paragraphs, we have no idea what those studies are really about or what those findings are really about. We don't know the exact points of similarity or differences. So this is, to me, a pretense of a discussion and poor quality. Sample 3 is good enough for bachelor degree standard. You see that in black color, that is the students' own results. Blue color, that is citing from one study. Purple color, citing from another study, and there are certain details. And there is a certain target here from what I underline. This student is trying to show that from the study in blue, the people do not speak Si-Han language. From the study in purple, there is a mixture of the ethnic language and a more common language. And for this study here, you can see that there is a highlight on the language shift. So there is a target to show that there is a shift away from the ethnic language to other common languages. And this is the idea that this student finally picked up and wrote this concluding paragraph for this part of the results. Let's read this. From the past studies, which are in line with the current study, it can be seen that people tend to use a more formal and dominant language that is understandable by a large majority to communicate in the friendship domain. This is to smoothen the communication, and the language use is able to meet the social and professional requirements in the society. So for bachelor degree standard, this is okay because the student has cited relevant results from other studies for comparison and provided some contextual information from those studies to explain the results. And finally, size up the many results and explain why his and other researchers' results are like that. This is very important. The student had a point to make and cited accordingly to make the point and highlighted the relevant results to make this point in the end. Finally, we look at sample 4, a high quality discussion that appears in a very good journal. Own results, describing own results, no problem, everyone can do it. However, now here you see a certain move into comparing the own results with other researchers' results. And it is not just citing the results to show whether they are similar or different. There is a certain analysis of the method that is used for calculating the frequencies, because this method actually brings about different results. And from this, we know that this researcher is very familiar with not only her own study, but also all those that she has cited to be able to come to this knowledge that this is one point of comparison, and that is going to affect use of pronouns as a measure of interactivity. So to provide contextual information on other findings is doable, but you must be clear on the point you want to make to collect the right evidence for the argument. And that is not the end of that discussion. This discussion goes on to offer more critical analysis of what counts as a measure of interactivity. So what I have shown you here is only the beginning of this discussion. You can go and read the paper. So here you can see there is use of critical thinking when analyzing other researchers' results. For this, only a few can do. Yes, you can aim to work towards this high quality discussion. I believe everybody should, because when we aim higher, we can produce something acceptable. If we only aim for a moderate quality, we may end up producing a low quality discussion. So to produce this high quality discussion, it is important to use critical thinking when analyzing other researchers' results, and repeatedly read those papers until we understand the results inside out. And in the process, we actually understand the research problem very well. I'm also saying that we need to be familiar with all the important papers, all the papers possible that are written about that research problem. So in conclusion, to write a good discussion, you need to, 1, understand your own results very well, inside out, the connection between the different parts of the results. And 2, understand the research problem very well. In this way, we can show how our results can move the reader's findings, reader's understanding of the research problem forward. Thank you.